We're back. That's right. Tuesday night, Chateau de Mars Hill studio. It's your boy. Someone called me a very interesting name over the weekend. They called me November Word Steve, and it was actually really funny. And I took that as a compliment. And then before the show, did a little goon action too. So it's been a hell of a couple of days. It's actually been like a hell of a week and a half, but we're going to talk about it for sure. There's so much that happened today. There's so much that happened last week. I mean, and I'm sure, and listen, we're going to talk about it, not the gooning, but we are going to talk about what happened at the Libertarian meeting last week. John was there. Haas was there. Jews in the chat. Let's go. There's a lot to talk about. So hold on, let me pull this up real quick. So let's get into it. All right, so I found something very interesting yesterday, and it has to do on the FEC website. So a little background first. Like a week or so ago, I think it was Capital Chronicle, Mirror Indy, one of the publications. They put out a story about how Chuck Goodrich had given money to Jim Banks's PAC. And then the PAC gave money to a group, which I found out who it is. And then that group was helping out all the Senate candidates to try and primary them out. Yeah, I know. That's a hell of a spider web, right? Well, I was trying to figure out how they got the second quarter filings. If you guys are not an investigation nerd like yours truly, the FEC, the Federal Election Commission, they have a website and it has all the campaign info, campaign finance info. Unfortunately, squeeze for sure. I could not find the second quarter filing, how everybody did. And I thought it was like some secret decoder ring kind of thing. Turns out, shout out, you know who you are for helping me out. Turns out I was not checking the left-hand side of the page. And I'll show you here in a little bit. All right. But what I did find is how much money has been spent so far this year between candidates. Let me back that up. Between candidates, political action committees, and party committees. Now, remember, the candidates also have a PAC. Basically every congressperson has a PAC. But overall together, hold on. This is 2025. I want to see 2026. There we go. So far, it's over $12 billion as of July 30th. That's how much money has been raised. It's a crazy amount of money when you look of how much money is spent. And we saw that with Greg Ballard. We'll talk about him here in a little bit too. But yeah, whenever people talk about getting money out of politics, I'm here to tell you that is never going to happen. Bo Bai said it. It was like, oh, we got to get money out of politics. At the same time, hey, thanks for the $2.5 million of raising for a job that pays $175,000. Isn't that just grand? Moving on, but this is what I was talking about. This is the American Leadership PAC. This is Jim Banks' PAC, allegedly. Basically there. Here's Gaylor Electric that gave $300,000 to the American Leadership PAC. Interesting enough, it wasn't just him. We know that Braun was helping out. Now, Braun's fund is the Hoosiers for Opportunity, Prosperity, and Enterprise Victory Fund, the Hope Fund. The Hope Victory Fund gave them a bunch of money. I think it was over $500,000, if I remember right. Hold on, $750,000. Yeah, and also Aaron Huchin. And all right, so do you guys remember like a while ago when I pointed out that Shreve has his own PAC and it's like this massive acronym like Security, Homeland, blah, blah, blah. Well, it turns out Marlon Stutzman did the same thing. Okay, you ready? Making America Restore Leadership and Independence Now Political Action Committee. So that is the Marlin PAC, because I'm sure Stutzman would have been a little bit too tough for that. You have to do like Todd Young, where he had like, yeah, exactly. Yeah, Shreves does have a dopey name too. I think it's like the Security, Homeland, Enterprise, bullshit, whatever it is, Restore. I don't know. I'm sure they ran it through like ChatGPT or like come up with the dorkiest acronym for my name, and then I'll just slap it on my PAC. No big deal. So Rudy Yackham, Mark Mesmer gave money. The Marlin PAC only gave $7,500, while Aaron Huchin gave $75,000. along with Yakum and whoever is securing American Greatness is. Now, that money went to Belmont Strategies. I mean, and I'm talking about like a crazy amount. My zeros, I think that's 3. It was a crazy amount. And it wasn't just this one. I checked the first quarter one as well. They are just giving I don't know who Belmont Strategy is, but they are getting paid for sure. And then, a couple other things too. This is the paperwork. You guys remember Jennifer Ruth Green when she used her campaign donations to pay for her lawyer because she was going through the ethics problem. Yeah, well, that turns to happen. I found out that it's actually it's kind of like a gray area, really. I don't know what's going to happen from that. Probably nothing as usual. All right, speaking of interesting things. So Elevate Ventures, if you guys remember who those are the people that were under the IEDC audit, basically like a venture capitalist firm. And so they invest in a lot of these startups and first seed money, whatever. You guys know how much I don't like them. All right. I do not like Elevate Ventures. Establishment Gooners. Yeah. Is that Stephanie Yakum? No. Bye, Rob. Yeah. Larry in the chat. Hey, Larry, just to let you know, listen, I got you, buddy. All right. Just to let you know, I'm on your side. Trying to get the wheels moving to get you across the finish line. So Christopher Toff Day, part of Elevate Ventures. We've talked about them ad nauseum. And yet, I don't know what reward they were doing. It's like the Indiana 250 list. Yeah, being included among is profoundly humbling. Okay, so why am I bringing this up? Because of Michael Paul Hart. Michael Paul Hart goes, congratulations, Toff. Indianapolis is in a better position with Unicity. Fuck that stuff, all right? All right, so you know that Michael Paul Hart is probably, if he is like shilling for this douchebag, good chance that Michael Paul Hart is running for mayor next year or a higher office. Pick one. It doesn't matter. I think he knows the writing on the wall that his district is probably going to turn blue. I know if he leaves, Natalie Goodwin's not going to find anybody to replace him, and that basically a clean slate. My whole goal next year, no matter what happens on August 8th, which I'll talk about here in a little bit, is to take out the Marion County GOP. There won't be a single Republican city councilman by the time I am done next year. They are all getting fucking buried. Anybody that's in my way. You know that Grim Reaper meme where he's like opening up the doors? The first door that I took out, Sid Mahant's primary campaign. Next one's going to be the Marion County GOP. But don't you worry, there's more. For those in the background, you know what I'm talking about. All right, moving on. So Braun was at a child care facility today, and he says he believes Indiana has enough money and reserve to increase the child care funding next session. Listen, special power in the chat. Let's go. Here, and Justin George in the chat. Let's go. So we know where this is going. This is going to be the chamber bros that are trying to get people, trying to get women in the workforce. Why? More tax money. All they want is all of us to be tax cattle. That's all we know. Listen, if you want to go down, I'm the only based one in the, besides Drew, basically, in like the mouthwash zone. And about like the Conspirabro thing, we can't trust Lucy anymore. Okay, I'm here to tell you can't trust Lucy anymore. She got Bill Gates and Zuckerberg, and she just went full I'm going to believe whatever they tell me scenario. You guys know what I'm talking about. I embarrassed her last week. So anyway, she would be on top of this as well about feminism, saying this world of the whatever wave of feminism, the third wave, fourth wave, however many, 69 wave of feminism. And what they wanted was to bring in women into the workforce. Why? So they can indoctrinate your children of consume. What was that Roddy Piper movie? I know one of you guys in the chat know what I'm talking about. And it's just more consumption, get more tax cattle revenue, more money for our money to go to something dumb. And then Luke Lomax in the chat, Base Lomax in the chat. Let's go. We're all here, baby. We're having a time of our life. And that's basically what the goal is. Get the women in the workforce, get the children in their indoctrination centers, and then get more money. You will be tax cattle. And not only that, you won't even have enough money to own anything. Renting will be the future life. That's the problem. They live. Thank you. Thank you, Ducky. Ducky in the chat. Let's go. Oh, you were in the... Listen, Brad, you were there when I embarrassed Lucy, okay? Yeah, children should be home with their families when they are young. Yes, they are very impressionable, and you want to have that tight-knit environment for the child. You don't want them to become an iPad baby and be a hunchback of Notre Dame. So that is a massive problem. All right, moving on. So Mike Hicks, the absolute biggest boomer douchebag there is in Indiana, he writes an opinion article. Greg Ballard is reshaping Indiana politics. First off, Greg Ballard is a libshit. All right, we remember what he did with Blue Indy. We know what he did with Infosys. Yeah, exactly, Luke. And we know what he did with bringing all those H-1B workers. And let's not forget about the gay cupcakes, okay? I should be able to not have to make anything for anybody unless I want to. So he puts off this massive article. Brad is in, I just saw him. I think he's in the Facebook chat. No, Brad's in the YouTube chat. So, he starts going off. I think that if the last statewide elections were repeated today, Jennifer McCormick would be the governor and Destiny Wells would be attorney general. First off, that's dumb, okay? That is completely ridiculous. The party has followed up with Secretary of State candidate Bo Bai, Baby Birch Bai, a centrist Democrat. That is true. In fact, I would argue that Greg Ballard is more progressive than Bo Bai. At the same time, Bo Bai is just an empty shell. He is a Trojan horse, an empty vessel. The party has followed with Secretary of State Bo Bai as the Democrats' center of Hoosier politics. The GOP is fielding more extremists. All right, so I have to read this next article because it is the funniest thing ever. Lieutenant Governor Micah Beckwith uses white supremacist rhetoric, recycling language from the 1920s KKK newspaper, The Fiery Cross. He is openly courting the most extreme elements of the GOP, just as Hoosiers are coming to learn that he isn't hating on Muslims or immigrants, but also Catholics. What? Oh, I think he was making fun of he was making fun of Catholic charities, probably. His hatred seems to not extend to powerful people accused of sexual misconduct, whom he refuses to criticize. Hicks is such a boomer dope. He needs to be put off onto the ice shelf and just put off into the Arctic Ocean. That's it. Cricket stadiums. Exactly, Luke. Yeah, I forgot about that. I actually forgot about that. That dude Ballard is so gooned up on India. I don't understand it. He donated to Raju, I think, too, when he ran for Congress. And England still beat him. These are voters of the Lincoln Party seeks to attract. Okay, first off, whoever votes for Ballard are going to be moderate Democrat boomers. I think, this is my theory right now, I am totally open to criticism. I might be wrong, but I think that Ballard will get more votes in Marion County. More than everybody else, because the rest of Indiana, at least by the time I get done with them, they're all not going to like Ballard. Yeah, put that in the Grim Reaper meme too. Ballard gets 1%. If I'm Lori, I'd be worried because that dude has a ton of money. Actually, let me see. Let's take a look. It's been a day or two since I've looked on old Greggy B. Okay, he hasn't had a large donation. I do want to point out something real quick. The amount of money that he raised versus the amount of money that he spent. And I know there's a lot of talk right now in the Facebook chat rooms. What is Ballard's platform? Ballard's platform is fake and lame. His platform is not good. And listen, I'm not here to shit on Lori, but I do not want taxpayer funding voter guides. All right. I think there's an amount of accountability, but his platform and Bo's platform are basically the same, except for the voter guide stuff. I think Lori needs to run on the crappy Indiana campaign website, the InBiz website, the things that I get gooned up about, the nerd stuff that I love. If she focused on that, man, I would shill so hard for that stuff. I think he does have a website though. It's pretty bad. Secretary of State. I think he does have, yeah, there it is. GregBallard.com. What's Greg's plan? Yeah, statewide voter guide, expanding the opportunities for independent leadership. Okay, so nothing to do with the Secretary of State. I think I made fun of this like a week or two ago. So he wants to have a taxpayer-funded voter guide, and he wants to expand opportunities for independents to run in elections. All right, that has nothing to do. Is she really? Hey, Luke, if she is posting that stuff, send it over because I will post that stuff often. Because I have a massive problem with InBiz and the campaign finance website, and I will shill really hard for that, no matter what happens, because I hate the way that InBiz and the campaign website are run right now. Dude, it's so goofy because you could put, so like if you put an address in, you put DR for drive, you'll have different results than if you were to put drive. So you're getting, it's a lack of transparency. I had to learn this the hard way. So there's ways around it, but like overall, you're pretty much cooked. Like it takes triple the amount of time because of how bad it is. Anyway, that's his platform. It's crap. I'm gonna smoke him on social media. And here's the thing: Abu is basically shilling for him. That's like his boy. I think he just wants to be friends. My vice president, I'm the county treasurer. Oh, okay, there we go. So Rick said a person needs to add you to the login database for campaign finance. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, I know. It's so crazy, honestly. I guess it's for security, but yeah, you know what? Abu wants to be me. Listen, I'm charismatic, I'm better looking, I'm smarter, and he just can't compete with me. I'm not a fat, ugly pig vomit. And he is. He's a pig, and he makes me want to vomit. All right, moving on. All right, let's get into the cool stuff because it's very interesting, especially speaking of elections, though. Okay, hold on. Okay, so Andrew Horning posted something the other day, but I don't remember what it was. I think I was just going to go on a bitch fest about Horning switching sides, which he is kind of a flip-flopper, but nobody giving any crap to Horning, but they're giving crap to me. But I'm not going to run on that. I don't care anymore. Luke loves that website. So anyway, I do want to talk about this quick flock thing because you have the badge patriot basically shilling for flock cameras right now. And obviously, you know, I have a pretty unique take on flock cameras because I am a realist. I live in Marion County. They do not belong in high trust areas. At the same time, even if they're in low trust areas, we know the prosecutor is either going to dismiss the charges or give them a plea deal. So the flock cameras are pretty useless when it comes to accountability. That would be my take. So many, there's a war skill to multitask. It is. You know, that was the thing, Larry, is that I saw him at the convention and everybody thought I was a delegate, which I wasn't. Dude, I didn't even vote in the primary. I was told don't vote in the primary, and I didn't. And, you know, everybody thought I was a delegate when I talked to Horning. Listen, Horning is a nice guy. He's a smart guy. He's just like kind of out of touch with the way things are right now. And he wants to live in a society that will never exist again. All right. So you guys all know what happened last month or earlier this month. The city council in Indianapolis, they voted to raise the wheel and excise tax. Not even a little bit, a lot of it. It's a flat tax, $100 for the wheel tax. Probably going to be used for selecting children in that. Oh shit! That went down a different path. I did not expect that. Yeah, data centers aren't even for that. Shorter flying lifetime. Yeah, that's true. And don't forget when everybody was doing the Pokemon ball stuff. All right, so Hogsett vetoed the wheel and excise tax, which is totally based, obviously. At the same time, we know that he's doing it for the election, right? Give me Hogsett fourth term. I don't even care. I'm all here for it because you guys don't understand who don't live in Marion County how bad it's going to get if VOP or mostly Andrea. If Andrea Hunley becomes mayor, you'll have a Brandon Johnson leadership, but probably worse in Indianapolis. I mean, they're gonna raise the budget. They're gonna cost us. She's gonna cost us a bunch of money, and she's gonna go full lefty libtard. That'll make Lori Lightfoot look like Giuliani. It's gonna get crazy bad. So if I had to pick my destroyer, it would be Boss Hogshead. I'm just saying. I live here for now. Yeah, exactly. She's doing the same platform that Robin Shackelford did in 2023. I'm going to go to talk to everybody, and they're going to tell me what they want me to do. She has no vision at all. And when you are our leader, you have to have vision, which I will be talking about in a little bit. Listen, if I am still a libertarian, if I do not get kicked out, nobody. That's the thing. I have like a half a dozen people that want to run as a libertarian, even if it's a paper candidate next year for city council. Listen, if I'm a libertarian, if I'm still a libertarian after all this, or if I don't get kicked out, honestly, I'll run for mayor. How's that sound? I will run for mayor as a libertarian because everybody knows that it loves some old, sweet, cute little me, especially Indie Reporter. Oh, Peppy, come on. Stand for nothing and fall for everything. That's so true. That's a great description of Andrea Hunley. So anyway, that's what's going to happen. We'll see. I will be there August. What is that? August 3rd, I think. So I will be there in person as Indie Reporter. Talk about what happens. Based Luke. Let's go. But anyway, so Vop Osley, who's the other candidate beside, listen, there's four candidates, but three that have actually registered. You have Andrea Hunley, you have Vop Osley, you have David Bright, and you have my favorite right now. That's the king, Larry Vaughn, the glass man. All right. I will totally vote and totally door knock for Larry Vaughn. All right. I don't even care. Dude, if you guys have never seen or interacted with Larry Vaughn, you are in for a treat, and you would be like, I like this guy. I would run him as a libertarian, to be honest with you. Because if you were to put Larry Vaughn on the main stage with a Republican and a Democrat with 1 million people watching, and he's in there with his slave shirt and his paper bag as a hat, oh my God. Total content. And then he's making the rounds with IBJ and Rob Kendall and Indy Star. Oh my God. If you go onto the Whitty Review YouTube page and you look up in the videos of Larry Vaughn, I have him in there. I think it's either that or the Indie Reporter page. I'm pretty sure it's the Whitty Review one. Dude, that guy is a hoot. I would totally hang out with him. But anyway, so Vop Osley has this idea, because one of the arguments that I had was, we know that this wheel and excise tax is not going to be a one-time deal, like a 5-term deal for the community grant funding. It's the matching grant. We know this is going to be a long-term thing, because everybody knows, Luke and Larry, we all know, if you put a tax in there, it's not going away. There's the one true thing that is immortal. They always say, like, death is undefeated, except when it comes to taxes. Taxes are immortal. And that's exactly what they're going to do. Yeah, Larry Vaughn's really running. That's what he made a video on anyway. Yeah, it's 100% Ducky. It's going to be permanent. So Vop Osley, he's going to run a $375 million bond on it with the wheel and excise tax backing it. And so, but he doesn't say like how long the bond is going to be. We know most bonds are 20 to 30 years. And that means they're going to pay that off. It's going to take 20 to 30 years to pay that bond off using the wheel and excise tax. And I don't know if that means they're going to be having the community matching dollars. This sounds like a massive mess, though. It sounds like it's not going to work at all. I don't like it. Marion County prosecutor. Listen, I would only run for prosecutor under the Lincoln Party just to destroy Greg Ballard's name. Yeah, and you have to be a lawyer. Yeah. You know what I found out? Speaking of all like weird things that you have to be, is a coroner. Was it Morgan County? So Morgan County coroner, you can go like a University of Phoenix degree on a coroner, and then you're good to go. Yeah, they have a certifications. It's a really low bar to become a coroner. It's kind of terrifying, to be honest with you. But what are you gonna do? Don't shoot people or don't get killed. Don't get killed. Life advice. Don't get killed. All right, so obviously Democrats on the city council are like, no, we want to raise the wheel tax instead of not spending money on stupid bullshit. And then, but Hogsett put out his way to get the $50 million and the X amount of money to get the community matching grants. $10 million of lit growth already allocated, growing income tax allocation, $5 million allocated from stormwater fees to support. I don't know if this is allowed. I don't know if this is legal because I think Deb Whitfield tried something like this, but I think she was trying to take care of the budget. So I don't know if you can. I don't think this is legal. I might be wrong, but I would like for somebody to find out if that's true. If you can take stormwater fees to support surface drainage aspects of new search. Oh, okay, I see what he's doing. Okay, yeah, man, that is some NFL level type of fiscality. 25 million to be a 2020 spring fiscal ordinance. By the way, this is all planning that you're going to see more income tax dollars. Like, you have to grow the population to get more income. You have to have people move here. Why do you think all the outside counties, the fact that Greenwood is raising their wheel tax is bananas to me. Any of the outside counties that are raising their wheel tax are assholes, like actual douchebags, because they are seeing such a massive increase of income tax that they don't even have to. They could probably use half of that. Like, Greenwood is raising their wheel tax to like $25 flat fee, I think, something like that. I was like, dude, Greenwood is one of the strongest. Here, actually, what time is it? Oh yeah, we got time. I think it's on census. Greenwood. There it is. Greenwood City. If you look at 2020, right here, they had 63,000 people. 2025, 69, and right now, okay, so they're at 70. If you even look at Johnson County too, they're like 150,000, something like that. But you are getting a massive increase, and these aren't cheap. By the way, the houses over there, not cheap. I don't even know what they do for a living. They have to be doing drug cartel stuff. That's the only thing I can think of. Borrow against income tax protection is very Chicago-ish. That's exactly right. It is. It's becoming a Chaz. You guys remember Chaz in Seattle from back in 2020? That's what it's becoming. Every time that I have to go to city county building, I'm like, I'm going to get stabbed at some point because there's always some random homeless dude like yelling at the sidewalk, asking him where his candy's at. True story, by the way. All right, so there we got that. All right, real quick on this, we'll move on. Hogsett was getting questioned by Haley Colombo, by the way. Love Haley Colombo's work, doing a solid job, especially pressing Joe Hogsett. But he was getting all annoyed about the Mr. Clean thing. He was kind of being a smart ass to her. But the whole interview is on the Indy Star, if you want to watch it. He was talking shit about Ireland without saying Ireland. Speaking of, we might have a chance that Jesse Brown changes his vote next month for the wheel tax, because basically it's a spite vote. He's like, oh, Hogsett wants this, or what is it? Hogsett doesn't want it, I want it, or the council wants it. And he's been talking to a bunch of people because his area is mostly low income people. And they're all like, how am I supposed to afford this when I was paying $7 normally for my wheel tax, and now I'm going to have to pay $100? What the fuck? Own privately owned trucking company. Yeah, that's true. Screw that. All right. Like I said earlier, a lot of big things happened today. The Indiana Recount Commission, they met. Wes Bennett, he won from Greg Knott. Greg Knott asked for a recount. I don't know how much money it's going to cost them, but and it was all in Hendricks County from what I can tell. And the final numbers were the numbers that came out originally. Also, Liz Brown wins. Darren Vogt, he filed a motion to dismiss. Not exactly sure why, though, because he put it out yesterday and the recount commission was happening today. Like, you're still going to have to pay for it. So I'm not exactly sure. Washington, we need to invite Anthony Sapon. Oh, that would be funny. Is that the guy in Florida? All right. But anyway, The Deary and Copenhagen one is next week. We'll find out what happens. All right, IURC the finalists came out today. Funny thing that happened during the interviews last week. Jobo Gerals, who probably has the highest chance of winning. I think it's going to be Joby Gerals, Josh Bain. If I had to put in most likely list, and then Nathan Kazi. But he pointed out that the Marble Hill project wasted about $3 billion, and that would be $8 billion in today's dollars. A lot of money. Then he says, oh, we could have put that money into SMRs and blah, blah, blah. Well, first off, show me an SMR right now in the U.S. Listen, all you guys know that I am a big fan of nuclear, but I also am not a big fan of wasting money on projects that we know are going to be used to just float up the fat pigs. We saw what happened in the SMR in like Idaho, and Susie Jaws worked for the company, I think, at that time. So we'll see. But all right. So, but I was right. Remember, I said, I even talked about this on the show before. This was my list. I said these are my top 3 people who I think have the highest chance of getting into the finals. And son of a bitch, was I right. I knew it. Dude, I'm telling you, the Braun team is probably listening, all right? After I mogged him bad enough when I said, hey, you know, Anthony Swinger, I actually had up my number 1, and then Andy Zay. And then Andy Zay ended up getting fired as chair, and then they put in Anthony Swinger. And so, like, I went on there like, hey, Braun, maybe you should just come to me first if you want some advice of who to hire. And son of a bitch, man, I swear, I think they're listening, all right? Because the top 3 people were the top 3 people. I'm right. I know. That's right. You need to you have to donate about $300,000. You have to donate money. Josh Bain did not donate money. Maybe like, I don't know, maybe he did or didn't. But he works for IDEM now. I did not know that. He's like they're lobbyist. Whatever. I don't care. It's all shady to me. Joby Girals, I think, has the highest chance of winning. If I gun the head right now, if I had to pick who Braun is going to appoint, I think it's going to be Joby Girals. He has like a Jim Banks story of pissing in a bucket until he was 5, living on a dirt floor. For real, that's what he said. He had an outhouse until he's 5, and then they got city water. Yeah, really sad story. And he's a shill for SMRs and data centers, and I think even carbon sequestration too, which is basically injecting farts into the ground. It's a total fucking scam. I'm telling you right now, it's a total scam. And of course, like John Ford and that goofy bastard Alan Morrison are leading the charge on that stuff. You just go and put that on Twitter. You'll see what I'm talking about. All right. And on top of that, hey, guess what? Everybody that was worried about, hey, my gas tax money, where's my gas tax money? I don't know where it went. I don't care about the people that are getting cheaper gas. I want the gas tax money. And then Braun comes out and says, listen, hold on. He goes, listen, we're going to have the State Board of Finance. We're going to improve the money. We're going to make sure everybody's settled up. And everybody's going to get their money. So that's exactly what happened. All the Democrats in Indianapolis were worried about, hey, where's my $3 million every month? I'm missing out on my $3 million. And everybody's settling up right now. And now everybody should be cheering that Braun kept his word. So stop your crying, all right? I like cheap gas. And by the way, the fact that we have an overtax right now, we have massive amount of reserves. We should have a 1-month gas tax holiday. Listen, I know we shouldn't have gas tax anyway. I know. I'm just saying I'm a man of compromise, and I think that's fair. Alex Jones, it could be. I have hold on. Well, I got to get the glasses. Like black helicopters, FEMA, CDC. We need to prosecute Fauci. Anyway, all right. Let's get into the Buc-ee's, and then we get into the libertarian stuff to finish this off, baby. We are being overtaxed. Oh, no, they need to be more round. Can you top that off for me? Thank you. All right, so I went to Buc-ee's, and because in Greenwood, also known as Bollywood, they are planning on putting a Buc-ee's. It was just approved, and I went back and I watched the 2.5-hour video. Basically, I sped through it, and there were I would guess that there was probably like 100 people. I don't think it was that many that were in the room, but they had 15 minutes for remonstrating, and I think 7 or 8 people were against it, and then 4 people were for it. Go figure, all boomers. They had like their Buc-ee's gear and everything. It was embarrassing. These like Buc-ee bros are basically equivalent as millennials spending all their hard-earned money on going to Disneyland. That's what I compare it. You got the Mickey Mouse ears. You're going to Harry Potterville, and then you're going to compare that to. Thank you. To going to Buc-ee's. By the way, overrated food, overrated jerky. The whole store was a massive mess. But let me tell you what's going on. Don't tell me, Luke. No. Well, let me tell you about my experience, because it goes a little bit further than just Buc-ee's. You hop on 70, you just go straight east, right? You go straight into OHIO. And there was for like 50 miles. I felt like an hour when I was just driving down there. It was nothing but construction. 2 lanes, middle was being taken care of. They're like redoing that entire area, taking their sweet ass time as usual. You hop into Ohio and no construction. Roads are pretty good. 2 lanes open up into 3 lanes. And I was like, Buc-ee's new Stucky. I think Buc-ee's is the new Wawa. So I get over there, and I was more curious. This is what I heard from somebody that travels a lot for work. And they were telling me, like, when they were get off on an exit or trying to get off on the exit, it would take like an hour. It was like a mile or 2 of backed up traffic. So I feel it's like taking longer to get there because you're doing less by driving to dodge potholes. I didn't have any problems with potholes. I had problems with the truck drivers. They were in the middle lane or the left lane. And then I had that problem too in Indiana. Dude. All right, we'll talk about that. Larry, we'll talk about that. I did not know that was a thing. Like, I heard about it, but then being in there and hearing that, I'm like, what the fuck? I was going all schizo. I'm like, what? Who is screaming right now? And then it was like a dude chopping up brisket. And he was like, yeah, exactly. A brisket on board. For real. All right. So the parking is going to be a massive problem. When you get in there, it was kind of like a Walmart parking lot, and nobody knows what's going on. There's no organization. You just see like the markings on the ground. Spiro in the chat, let's go. And of like 270, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, all right, I'm just going to find a parking spot where I can get in there, then easily get out. So I went to the farthest edge that I could find. And that's exactly where I parked. And so get in there, and I was overwhelmed. And there was like 30 people in line to the right of me, and then another 30 people to the left of me. And then come to find out, there's more lines. Those were just the 2 lines on that end. There's like 5 more lines. It was, yeah, I heard the one in Texas is a lot more low key compared to the new ones. Now, this one apparently opened up this last April, so it's very new. So I had to walk around. It was when you're like in a cold pool and you have to inch in a little bit at a time, sometimes you got to spit on it. Well, that's kind of what I had to do there. I had to get my bearings straight, right? I was like, all right, there's that. I need to walk around. I need to get the lay of the land. And then after about a couple of minutes of walking around, that's what I heard too. Within 2 to 3 years, Buc-ee's made their money back. So then I started like walking around, got comfortable. I was like, all right, I kind of know what's going on now. I don't really like people, but I'm somewhat comfortable in crowds. Like, I know where I'm going. As long as I know where I'm going, I'll be good. So yeah, it is very much like, yes, well said. Yeah, it is like a TJ Maxx because they have some Cracker Barrel stuff. They have like cowhides and like a bunch of candles, like USA kind of things. Then they have their Buc-ee's merch. Then they have other stuff too of like Hawaiian shirts and all. Then like the whole wall of beef jerky, which is cool, but it's like Buc-ee's beef jerky. So I know I'm dealing with like Kirkland quality type of jerky. Not that great, not that bad, you know, pretty mediocre. I was right. So this is what I got. I got a bag of jerky. I got a bag of those little baby sticks of meat. And then, yeah, know where your exit is. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Always know how to get out. And then I got a $9 brisket burrito. I got their beaver chips, what are basically just roasted potato chips, like kettle chips. And then I got a $14.99 brisket. They're mega brisket, basically. And all in all, I think I spent $42. That's what I spent. So on the way home, because I hadn't had lunch yet, this was around 2:30. I had the burrito. I was really worried about pooping myself. That's what I was mostly worried about. Like, I got a 2-hour drive in construction. I don't know what's going to happen. I do not want to be sitting in my own shit. So I made sure that I was extra careful on what I was drinking and eating that morning. The brisket burrito was not that good at all. It was not good. It was basically brisket with no flavor and beans. And then the kettle chips, their beaver chips, mediocre. 2, 3 out of 10 maybe. And then their brisket was a lot better. I mean, if you had to compare all of it and have a hierarchy to it, the brisket sandwich was pretty good compared to everything else. I would have liked to have some pickles or something on it. But, you know, it is what it is. So you can have a landing spot because your Buc-ee's review. I was disappointed. My heart was broken. I'm like, this is probably going to be if I'm paying $9 for a burrito, I better be shooting loads. That's all I know. I thought about getting they had a brisket and mac and cheese, but usually I got 15 minutes before that baby's screaming out of me. If there's something about the grease and the oil with the brisket, with the pasta and the cheese. Like whenever I eat ice cream, I got 15 minutes and then I'm cooked. So anyway, good luck, Greenwood. You're going to need it. I did hear they are opening up, extends pedestrian connections east of I-65. They're going to be opening up 65 on the south end to go to Buc-ee's, which is what I said originally. Like, that's going to be a massive bottleneck there. Imagine all those people trying to go home and then they're just dealing with a bunch of Buc-ee bros. I am. Yes, I think so too, Luke. I think so too. What are you going to do? You know? All right, real quick. The second quarter filing came in for the FEC. This is what got me going. Why can't I find it? And so I found it. Aaron Huchin has $1.1 million, almost $1.2 million going into that she has left. Crazy amount of money that Rudy Yackham raised and spent. I mean, he raised $5.4 million, but also spent $5.4 million. Like, that's Shreve money. That's way past Shreve. Shreve got, he's a billionaire, so I don't even pay attention to his campaign reports, even though he's almost got smoked by Jamie too. But Todd Young with the $7.2 million, he's the big guy in the block right now. I mean, that guy is so establishment, and now he's trying to pull the conservative card. I don't know how well that's going to turn out. Yeah, burrito that makes me shoot loads. That's right. I want to be snail trailing in my jorts if I'm going to have a $9 burrito. Just saying. I need my man khakis. All right. So let's talk about, they found. Yeah, I mean, that's what it is too. I don't know. I didn't look at Yackham's. I really don't pay attention, honestly, to the federal candidates, unless it was like Shreve. I'm more or less paying attention if Shreve is still giving money to Cam Savage. Everybody else, I don't really follow. It's so out of touch with everybody. I don't even pay attention. All right, so let's talk about the libertarian thing. Got about 7 more minutes, and then we'll call it a night. All right, so you guys all know what I talked about last week. The next day was the libertarian meeting for Marion County. Don't worry, Luke. I'll sound much better. I'm not going to be going off or anything. So the I had a lot of time to think about, I had like a 5-hour round trip on Saturday. So I had a lot of time to think about this and soak everything in. And, today I read up on a few things and I don't want to get distracted by the chat. And, I kind of have an idea now. I figured things out. So let me just give you a quick rundown of what happened at the Libertarian meeting. Everybody showed up. Like, there were people that are part of the Marion County Party that I've never seen in my life. I don't think I've ever seen them I've been to 2 state conventions. I don't think I've ever seen them. Because when we had, in 24, when I was hanging out, we had a Marion County table, like a big old ballroom table full of nothing but Marion County people. It had to have been like 10 or 12 people. Then this year, we had what do we have, Drew? Maybe 10 people. So, I mean, actually probably more like 15 people in 24. It was a massive room though. And so this year we had our little corner with Marion County people. It was pretty cool. And that's who we figured out that we were going to put Mark and Donald in for state. But I never met any of these people. And so I gave my case. You guys already know what my case is. And I explained the situation. I want to win. It's literally that easy. I want to win. So we need to have a winning message. So when you have stuff like this, that's not a winning message. And I want to point this out real quick too. This guy right here, FBI Indianapolis Violent Crimes Task Force and DHS, ICE, and Aero arrested fugitive Javier Saric Perez, who was wanted in Hamilton County on multiple felony charges, including attempted rape, sexual battery, and sexual misconduct with a minor. He is an illegal alien unlawfully present in the U.S. So let me go a little bit higher on that. So Angela Ganote, she put out a bigger tweet explaining a little bit more on this guy. Trust me when I say there's a reason why I'm saying this. He was issued, blah, blah, blah. Hold on. Okay. One of the alleged assaults happened in a work truck in Fishers, and a shirt and seat cover were taken for DNA evidence on the day in question. This guy, if you're not going to execute him, he needs to be deported. So this kind of stuff right here, this is not a winning message. I hate to break it to you. Everybody knows it. I would rather hang this guy upside down by his pinky toes and then use him as a human piñata. Unfortunately, rules. I'm going to talk about this more on Saturday, by the way, the Century Initiative. This is some BlackRock massive displacement thing. So everybody had their chance to basically have their whip. I took my lashings from everybody, and there was a couple of points where I was just like, you are totally out of touch of what it takes to win. And like the amount of energy and this kind of goes back to me shit talking that Oliver Anthony song about, rich man, poor man, whatever it is, and say, the fucking rich people are keeping me down, blah, blah, blah. That is such a loser attitude. And I compare that to all the Democrats that talk about the road funding formula. I said, that is such a loser attitude to have. Hey, guess what? These are the cards that we are dealt with. Let's make the most out of them. Let's try and get the maximum efficiency out of this. Stretch each dollar that we can, and then we'll work on it as we can. So being part of a leader is giving, like I said earlier, is having a vision. The vision, what you want, not just, I dream of this. It's, well, how do we get there? And right now, everybody's so apathetic on voting. Everybody's politically homeless on which party they want to go to. They're on Democrats, they want to rape your children. For Republicans, they want to tax everybody and then use their money for everybody else. Same thing with Democrats, but less raping of the children. And libertarians, they're just like, okay, so you're basically leftist, you're libertarians. And so when Mike Hicks wrote up that article about the Lincoln Party, everybody's kind of like shrugging their shoulders like, I don't know, I guess I'll give it a shot because what choice do I have? And, obviously Ballard is a shit lib, whether anybody wants to believe it or not. I mean, he has like nothing but libs on his team. And right now, everybody's looking for somebody to support. Show me what I want. not even being a populist, but just like common sense policies. We don't want illegals here, especially illegal rapists. All right. If there's a hierarchy to it. So when you think about being a leader, and I'm not going to go on a tangent here, but I do want to stretch the point. It's all about having a character of aspiration is what I could think of. Like, we have a plan. I aspire to be this person because this person has a plan. And then building up a coalition of people that want to move forward with that plan. A force of will, if you will. Action, right? No, the one thing that I hate right now about the libertarians is how much talking they do. They remind me of Democrats. Hey, we need to have a study on this. Hey, let's just sit down and talk about it. I'm just like, no, all gas, no brake. Let's try something. Let's try the things that we have never tried before, because obviously the things that we're trying right now, they ain't working. 2 to 3%, that's not good enough for me. I want it all. I want to win. And so that's what I was primarily thinking about while I was had my 5-hour drive on Saturday. But also, I thought, I was like, you know what? This has got to be it. I think people are afraid to win. It's the dog catching the car, right? Like, what would happen if they actually got it? They would go into like full anxiety mode. It's like, oh shit, now I have to follow through with the things, but I don't even have a plan. And so today I was talking with somebody about that, about, hey, what happens when is there a SOP, a standard operating procedure when you have a new officer, a new chair? Do you have a goodie bag ready for this person? Hey, here's your logins, here's your fresh towels, here's your goon rag, and this is what you'll need. If you need anything else, I'll be here. And there is none of that for me. So for me to be as frustrated that I am, it makes sense. Seeing as how I've been sandbagged since day one. Still don't have a login for Civum. Took a month and a half because I think whoever had the logins for the social media was not letting them up, even though they were not hanging out with the Marion County Party anymore. Sandbag twice right there. Couldn't get a hold. By the way, most of you, if not all of you, and I think I told Evan this too. When I first became chair, I told everybody, I need to get everybody's phone numbers and emails because I want to meet every single member of the Marion County LP. Because, hey, guess what? There's a new sheriff in town. I want you to be involved. I want you to help us get bigger and better. We can only get bigger and better if we have people that are involved. So excuse me if I don't really give a shit about the person who has not been there for years. Whenever they're talking, and by the way, I was checking out a few times whenever someone was bitching at me, and I gave everybody their opportunity to bitch about me. I didn't care. Go ahead, have your way. And the problem is, there was one comment that really got me thinking too. It's like, oh, look at the things that we built. Oh, cool. Well, when you build something, you have to maintain it. So when you leave and you see that there is fire or even smoke coming out of the house that you built, and then you come back 5 years later, you're like, hey, what the hell happened? What's going on here? Well, maybe you should have been involved more. And by the way, I know, talking to some people, that the party is dying in Indiana. And I'm not trying to make fun of that, but I think the reality is that we have to have better messaging. So in Marion County, just leave me alone and let me have my own message, because everybody else can go and do their own thing. If Larry and Luke have their own message, let them go do Hancock County. I don't care if Joco has their own message or Hendricks County has their own message. Go for it. Everybody has their own island because of the people that they represent. In Marion County, there are a bunch of psychopaths. So yeah, I'm a crazy person. I'm a maniac. How do you stop a maniac? The people running our government right now in Marion County, you have to send in a maniac. You think anybody else is going to go out there in the front line and get their hands dirty and meet people in the trenches? I don't think so. They can't even show up for 30 minutes for a meeting once a month. And that was my argument too. And it's fine, whatever happens on August 8th. And I am a firm believer that I know people and I pretty much know what's going to happen. If I don't I will most likely there's a 90% chance that I get kicked out from the county. People will just show up. They'll kick me out, and then we may or may not see. They may or not show up to another meeting again. Maybe they show up until the election day, and then after that, they'll skedaddle like they did before. If I don't get kicked out by the county, it's pretty well guaranteed that the state will kick me out, which is fine. It is what it is. At the same time, yeah, where's the cackles at? But at the same time, I don't want to wait 3 weeks. I'd rather it just happen this weekend. Is there any way to suspend the rules and just make an announcement? Hey, guess what? This Saturday at this time, we're going to meet. Because if we do it August 8th, we are going to be majorly behind. And I'm saying if I pass, still a county chair. However, August 8th means that you have like 2 months left until basically 2.5 months left of door knocking. And I'm not going to door knock if I'm not chair. We don't even have the door hangers ordered up yet. That's what I'm saying. Notice laws requires to be that long out. Yeah, I know. That's the problem. I know. They was in the bylaws. They wanted to do August 1st, but I don't think people were available. There are a couple of people that were going to be out of town, so they made it the following weekend. Yeah, probably. That's what I think what it is, honestly, because I'm such an outsider that they're afraid. But Marion County is Marion County. Like, we know that we'll never win. The point right now, and I've made this, stressed it so many times, including the meeting, my whole goal right now is to destroy the Marion County GOP. They are so fractured right now that base right now is for the taking. Imagine all the disaffected Republicans, however you want it, and I'm talking about small L libertarians. They are rainwater type of libertarians. Ron Paul libertarians. That is the vast majority of the Republicans in Marion County. Trust me, they're Ron Paul libertarians. They're not neocon. They're not John McCain Republicans. Those are very few and far between. The Todd Young Republicans, not that many. Ron Paul libertarians, the vast majority of Republicans in Marion County. That's the base that I'm trying to go after right now. However, if I don't have some way of communicating with people, it's going to be really hard. I can only do so much when I'm getting sandbagged and have an anchor around my foot. I'm getting concrete shoes right now. So that's basically what happened. That'll be the last time that I talk about the libertarians until August 8th. Maybe that night. We'll see what happens. But overall, it is what it is. Hey, glad, and I'll say it again. You're all welcome, okay? You're all welcome that I got everybody so moved, so annoyed, or pissed off, or whatever, wanted to make their voice clear, that you guys finally showed up. Doubt that was the last time you talked about us. Thanks for being nice. No, I'm going to talk about, I want to talk about that. I'll talk about libertarians, but I'm not going to talk about that whole situation until August 8th. That's all. Yeah. I just want to win, because everybody's looking for somewhere to go to right now. But anyway, make sure you check me out on Saturday. More to talk about. We're going to talk about the Century Initiative. This is the guy from BlackRock that helped found it. There's a lot more, and we're going to talk about some of these Indians too. Just start a Whitty party. Yeah, I need to find a bunch of disaffected psychos like me. That's what I need. So we can get a ballot amount of votes, so I can go into the Secretary of State. Dude, that would be so funny. What if we had the R and W, or what about the K and W party, the Kendall and Whitty party? That'd be hilarious. Anyway, all right, guys. Make sure you check out Mouthwash. It's happening in like a minute or two. Love you guys. Bye.